Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom Podcast. This is Rebellion's Bloom, our Star Wars umbrella show here on the Penny Bloom Podcast, and today we are discussing The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 13, and The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 3. I am Colton Robertson, and I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? It was a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And we might be joined by Kyler Barnett at some point throughout this episode. We're not entirely sure yet. But due to scheduling conflicts, we're going to go ahead and start with The Bad Batch. We're going to start with Season 2, Episode 13, Pabu.
Pabu.
All that speculation. All that speculation.
Yep. Nope.
Well, if you work around, you could get there. I think we literally get a mention of Auntie Fee.
Okay.
We literally get that thrown in there. I don't think.
I mean, come on. Tech was already Uncle Tech, and it's the easiest. And yeah, I mean, like they are a thing.
I'm changing my tune completely from the beginning of the season. You know, we have since it was very early.
I called it. You guys, you called me a madman. You were like, I don't think that's the direction at all. And I'm like, no, you guys are honey. Yeah,
we have since been presented a bunch of information that would indicate otherwise. At the time, I was adamant that it would be kind of a questionable story direction to all of a sudden switch the tune up on Sid.
Not if she's a fucking bitch, which she is, and she continues to be a bitch this episode.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think she's gotten increasingly bitchier since we had that first discussion.
For Omega. She didn't outright say it, but she said, don't think I'm just not threatening you boys. You know, she's coming for Omega now. That's, that's it. She's the one who snitches to Mount Tantus people of where she is, and that's how. I hope she dies. I hope they kill her. Like, actually, I hope Sid dies now.
No, I'm 100% with you. No, I'm.
He's so cool.
The shit. He's the shit. Yeah. No, she was always cool. She was always cool. It was a question of where her loyalties lie. And with this episode, I think we get a very clear picture that she is a good person.
Rock solid. Oh my god. Like, I thought that she was kind of just like a thief, and she was spinning that she's a liberator of the ancient wonders to, like, that's what she tells herself.
Literally.
But, like, she actually does these things to get, like, for refugees. And
to give them back to their rightful cultures. That's
to keep, their home, away from home, feeling more like a home, I guess. And I'm like, oh my god, wait, what? You are so much cooler. I thought that she was a thief, and I'd rather want her than Sid already. And now Fee's even cooler, actually way cooler.
10 times cooler. Fee's the shit. Fee is the shit, and I wanted to own up to the fact that we got it wrong. We got it wrong earlier on in the season, me and Kyler.
And now treasure hunters. We're just gonna go around. They're just gonna get all the they're gonna maybe they find Thrawn, and maybe that's the I don't know, because that's too long apart, isn't it? Or I don't know how the timeline works.
Thrawn would exist. He'd just be a part of the Empire.
He collects all of that stuff, and he's interested, and that would be the ultimate take down the Empire, someone from the Empire, and get all this culture back and give it to its rightful people, sort of thing. But even if it doesn't go there, I don't care. I'd rather them just stay at Pabu for the rest of their lives and stay here forever. And that's why we don't see them ever.
I'm disappointed that there are 3 episodes left in this season.
Yeah.
I wish for the life of me this was the series finale. The end of the show. I don't need any resolution on anything else. Fuck it. We're good.
No,
You know?
I really hoped. I'm like, I saw a future, and I'm like, oh wait, maybe they just stayed here the whole time, and that's how we just haven't seen Omega and the Bad Batch, and it'd be perfect. They lived, they're living out their lives in this peaceful ass place. Their protection, if need be, if it comes to that, for the people here, and they'll help rebuild. And I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. But then I'm like, wait a minute, someone's looking for Omega. A lot of people are looking.
A lot of
for
people are
Omega.
looking for them. They're
And
like,
a lot of people are looking for them. Sid's looking for them. There's too
what
much going on.
What I'm concerned about that I can't believe they didn't really think about is that them being there actually puts that island at risk.
Well, yes, it's if they can somehow be tracked there.
Right.
So does Sid have? Sid obviously doesn't have a tracker on them because she would have known where they were the whole time, and she wouldn't have been like, "Well, you better be dead, or else blah blah blah."
She doesn't have a tracker on them.
So I guess they only put those people in danger if someone else knows where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Fee, she took that judgment call, and she was like, knowing who they are, she was like,
Fee is officially trustworthy on all accounts. Like, I am not concerned about Fee doing anything negative towards the Batch now that she has showed them this place, which she clearly holds very near and dear.
Yeah.
So like, I'm officially Team Fee all the fucking way, and I'm glad that I've seen the light.
I want to see the inside of that built obelisk, whatever centerpiece thing at the top, that upper Pabu.
At the top of Upper Pabu.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I want to see what's inside. I just want to see the inside. Just see all the cool treasure pieces that are in there. But man, I don't know.
This is
Denbo and all the no.
Feck.
Wait.
Feck.
Feck. I was gonna say what's the because I haven't thought about it. What's the name?
It's like an Irishman. It's like an Irishman dropping an F-bomb, bro. Feck.
Feck. Oh, Feck. Feck, or
are you fecking kidding me? It's like an Irishman.
T. Yeah, T.
It'd be T or Feck. And it's Feck for me.
Feck. What's your last name?
Genoa.
Tech Genoa? No,
Tekoa?
Feck.
Too heavily tech, you're not splitting the names enough.
Doesn't sound like I don't know, it just doesn't sound like a ship name. It's funny, Yeah, no. It just doesn't sound like the cute relationship.
And they are flirting hard in this one, bro.
She's teaching them like social cues, like whenever they're sleeping, she's like, shh, let him sleep.
Also, the fucking, there was this part at the beginning of the episode whenever Fee's like, I'm gonna go return this to its like rightful place, and like Tech watches her walk away, and like she looks back at him, and I was like, oh, they are so into each other, bro.
Oh, yeah. He stayed behind, and even Wrecker like outright mentions it whenever.
Oh yeah, you got some competition.
Yeah, whenever just the mayor gives her a hug. Yeah. So I mean, it's on.
100%.
It's on. And they're so
cute.
I
love that. I love them too.
If you look at the Fee's face throughout the episode, anytime Tech does anything, she just smiles, and like her face just lights up.
We don't see Tech smile nearly as much as we do as when she's in the as him in the presence of Fee. Like, dude, he is lighting up about as much as Tech lights up. He doesn't smile much, but he gives a little upward tilt of the lips, it goes up for him a little bit, but this is, for me, on a personal note, top 2 favorites this season. I loved this episode, dude. It's this and the Kashyyyk one.
Yeah, even with the crazy everything that happens at the end, it's the most like comfortable Bad Batch episode that there was. Like, just like visually beautiful, like just the island. Like once like, oh my God,
I was moved to tears simply because of the imagery and the soundtrack. Like, those two things coming together to create the feelings that stirred inside me, it's powerful. It is powerful. And on a personal note, this is my highlight of the week, Star Wars wise. The Bad Batch was the shit this week. And
like the sun off their faces, like on some shots. It's
on
so
Omega,
like,
Omega on the water, bro.
It's
when
so
when she
good.
took that deep
And
inhale and the
literally,
music
I
is
have
swelling,
yeah.
like, oh,
It's oh my god. Like
that
I'm
was a
like
very strong contender for
this
my favorite scene.
animation. I'm like, holy shit, what am I looking like? This is the most beautiful sunset, island just scenario. It's like space Greece.
Yeah,
It's like but on like just the smallest little island. It's like Luke's island mixed with Greece. It
gorgeous.
reminded me of Luke's kind of like their
Top
little
two.
huts. Yeah, I don't know. They were kind of similar there.
I see
Um,
you. I see you.
I don't know. Maybe like little beacons around. I don't know. I like different little animals because those animals have been there for a long time, and I
Yeah,
thought
the
like
Munoz.
maybe Omega maybe might try to connect with one of them, and she senses something. I don't know.
Right.
But I love how they start running up, and then Hunter is the next one. He notices right whenever the monkeys start to notice, or the little what are they? What's their
Munoz.
yeah Munoz. Whenever they start to notice Hunter's like he's noticing at the same time. And he stands up, and they're like, "Yo, what's wrong?" And he's
And the
like,
way the like beautiful score like drops out
mm,
completely.
mm-hmm.
Like it was like what they managed to do weekly with this show, score wise, visual wise, it's fucking insane. Like it is so goddamn good. And this episode, like this is obviously getting because nothing can ever be just nice. People are filler, doesn't matter. Uh, yo, I don't know, man. I don't know how much more of this I can take from y'all. Like, if you don't like this episode, I usually don't say this. I'm usually like what you like, do you. If you don't like this episode, you're a little fucked up. There's something a little wrong with you.
Yeah, they have a
Like,
16 episode season. There's 16 episodes. They're 30 minutes maximum.
and this isn't even filler. It's incredibly important to the Bad
Oh
Batch's
my god.
characterization.
Yeah,
Like,
this is huge. Like they finally see, and think of a life where they don't have to go to an X mission. They can just live. They see that, and it's real. It's there, and they're like, yeah, I actually I was thinking we could help you build Pabu back up, if you'll have us.
yeah.
Tech was like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, dude.
And you can tell based off B's comment that she was like, "Oh, yeah, you did you? Like, we talked about this. I convinced you. Don't talk about you were thinking the same thing."
He was already in,
Yeah,
right from the get go.
loved it, dude. I
But
loved
man,
it.
yeah, it was so nice. Just a nice, like, kind of reminded me of whenever She-Hulk got to Bruce's like retreat, and they were all zen, and they kind of had that montage of them just doing like relaxing, things at the beach and stuff like that, mixed with Luke's island, and it was just such a nice, relaxing episode.
It was
And
so good.
and then
Well,
even
it got to a point at a certain point, like right before the music dropped out, where I was like, how's there going to be a conflict here?
yeah,
And then like the music drops out, and I'm
wrong?
like, well,
Oh,
something's going to happen.
oh, damn. I mean, is it a coincidence? Like, it is awful strange.
that
I
after
mean,
3 decades.
I don't know if I'm just like, if it's just this, they needed something to happen, and it's just the story, and it's just so happened, whatever. But like, I don't know. Is there something more there? Like, is it like with the like the Force, like they can't stay there, maybe. Omega can't stay there. She's more important. She serves a bigger purpose. So the Force is, trying to get her to leave, or I don't know, something of that nature. Like, is it just, it's
No, I mean, like it is like I think you're supposed to suspend belief a little bit is all.
okay.
Like I don't know that it's necessarily an indication of anything. Him saying, it's been 3 decades since we had one of these things, and the early warning signs should have gone off for us, and then they go off right in that instant. I think you are supposed to kind of be like, unless there's some sort of like sabotage angle that I can't really see. I don't buy it. Like it would have to be. I like the idea that if there's anything, it would be Omega's connection to a greater power that causes this. But I also don't know that it would be like we're going to potentially the Force would be like, we're going to potentially kill thousands for
Yeah.
Omega to get the fuck off this island.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it's been 30 years, so like
They would do.
I mean, sadly,
Yeah.
is the thing that like this place is built for that, and you can clearly tell everything below that wall
Was destroyed.
It happens every 30 years. They're going to rebuild, and then right whenever they get to the peak of their civilization again, it's going to just come.
Did they say, was it at the beginning of the episode, did they say Upper Pabu was the oldest part of Pabu?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I was like, because it wouldn't make sense for Lower Pabu.
No, it's just the only place that remains every time,
Yeah.
like, so they've been around for 30 years, I guess, only. That's right, because like if they haven't, well, I guess the last one, did it completely destroy their home? They knew of one that happened 30 years ago. I don't know if that's their way of saying
maybe
that, like,
it wasn't quite as
started,
violent. Like maybe it was just like water came ashore and it was like a little tsunami. Maybe it wiped out like one of the villages, but not the entire fucking lower part of it. Because that thing was wiped the fuck out.
I hope they do. I don't know. Like they take that into consideration for when the rebuilding, and I hope they just like maybe we build like more up,
right,
and not down there, or something. I don't know. They do something to protect.
Yeah.
Oh, they use their Camino knowledge. Somehow, I don't know. They're like, hey, we're from Camino. That's how we did our shit,
Tech could be an architect.
He knows what the fuck he's doing.
He's architect.
Architect, dude. Oh my god.
Architect is in town, buddy.
Dude, that's nice. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. It just works too well.
A thing we haven't even touched on yet, the like Western ass opening with the pirate, like
oh yeah.
Like the transfer,
that was pimp.
The little thing, well,
already, like straight up from that interaction, I went, "Oh, this episode fucking rocks!" And then it got to a place where I was
batch now,
yeah,
like, that's the batch. Look how well they function together.
Yeah,
and
man.
Omega, she's sitting there. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just teaching her the art of negotiation," but like they don't know that she's completely about it and about to whip out. Like whenever she whips out her bow and just takes out that dude, he was not expecting that. That was the last thing he was expecting. He's like, "Oh well, damn, well this is where I go." But I mean, like the whole her being like, "Nope, I need to know it's real before I give you the money," and then she testing like, "Yep," slide the money over. Like she knows it's poison. She's like, "Oh, nice try." He lets out the bug. Hunter, he already knows the bug. I don't know why he absolutely waited for the last possible second, but he did just because he knows he's about that. He's
right.
like that.
He's like, there's no need to worry.
And somehow Fee also knew as well because like right when it's dead, she's like, nice pet or something like that. Or like
I like to think
nice
she's just really good at keeping her cool. Like acting like everything was planned, but like she did not see that. Like internally, she's over there like, "Oh
she's like,
fuck!"
Like I actually almost died. Like I actually wasn't playing. But no, that I don't know. That was awesome. And
I think it also just showed how much she truly trusts Hunter to have her back, like or the batch in general to have her back if it comes.
Should have brought more muscle.
She did.
And he cracks his neck, and then like just they go to town on those.
Bro,
people. Like,
was this the planet that Obi-Wan Kenobi goes to where Leia was taken and hidden? Looked a lot like it. And they show a few planets like this at multiple points in the show, and I never know what to think. But like the aesthetics outside whenever the ship lands, like that's
you mention it, man. It does, yeah.
And that was like a CD.
It's known. It's
and it
known to be kind of shady. Yeah, there, like
imperially occupied.
Yeah. Okay. No, yeah. Wow, that'd be super cool. Like, there's no, I guess, way to verify.
Yeah, no mention of the planet or anything. But headcanon. We can headcanon that ass.
Did anyone use comms? Because comms don't work on that planet, right? Like, apparently. So if they use comms, we know they're not there.
I don't. They use comms to reach Tech. They need a.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
They need a ride out of there.
Well, okay. If it could still be, and that just could be a little plot hole, that they didn't think of.
Well, and also, Obi-Wan Kenobi's 10 years later. I don't know that this planet's Imperial occupied yet.
There you go.
Maybe,
okay, we're not at the same time. Okay, still safe.
Yeah.
Still safe. They know what they're doing. They know what the fuck
It's the same planet. It's the same planet. That's my canon.
Totally the same planet. So we're on that planet, and the Western ass scene that happens on that planet specifically.
Fucking cool.
I'm actually going to pick it for my favorite scene because I feel like if I don't, it won't get the
love it deserves.
Yeah, the love it deserves. And that's the thing is, like, the rest of the episode is far better, I think. But just as one particular scene, it was all the bats showed all their strengths, Omega, she doesn't have so much physical strength, but she, shot that big bell down to get, on top of the guy. She used her head. Wrecker just absolutely going to town on everybody. Hunter,
got some more Techio drift in there.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, we got some drift.
That make a whip the
armor. We got some airships drifting this week.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. That scene, everyone was showing their skills, and it was super sick and super Western, and a perfect way to open up the episode, I thought. So yeah. No,
I loved it. What about that's what you're picking for your favorite scene then?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that you start with the very first scene. My favorite scene is the very last scene.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we're sandwiching the episode here with our favorites, because my favorite scene is that part after the destruction of Lower Pabu, where Shep and Hunter are over there talking, and Shep is talking about how, what's important is they got all the people out, because, also loved Shep, and gonna go ahead and spoil that too. He's my favorite character of the episode. Loved Mayor Shep. I thought he was hard as fuck. But the way he was just like, the important things that we got all the people out. Yes, this is disappointing, but everyone's alive. We can rebuild. My people are resilient. And Hunter's like, fuck yeah, man. I love that. Love that energy. Tech walks up. He's like, this is going to take a fucking while to fix. And Hunter was like, let's stick around and do it. Like, I loved the energy. I loved that, Hunter sees a potential life here. And
they all do.
They all do, yeah.
Wrecker, I didn't realize Wrecker. What Wrecker saw there, Mayor Shep is someone who can eat as much as Wrecker, if not more. Is the thing. Wrecker, he was full, right? He was like, I'm never full. And then Tech pulls out. He's like,
dude.
What does he say? I have it here because it might be my line. I have a lot of lines down because
I'm going to. I have to record this event for.
What does he say? Oh my god, I thought I put it down. Yeah, he says, I'm never full. I will note the date and time to commemorate such a momentous occasion. And then Fee, like, as he says that, is just smiling. Like, just looking at him and smiling, and it's like the sun in the back, the sunset in the background.
God
it's like,
damn. And Omega running around with Liana, chasing the Munoz and stuff, like, oh my goodness, it made me so fucking happy.
Omega finally has a friend, and it's like a thing that I didn't think about. I didn't even think about. Fee was like, Omega needs a friend of her own. Someone her age. And Tech was like, well, we never had any friends, so why does
you don't mention it?
And then she's like, oh wow, well, I don't know.
Look at that, huh? Yeah, y'all turned out fine.
She understands like him perfectly, and his just so like his social, cues that he misses and stuff like that. She understands it, and she's like quick to it, and she's helping him now, which is like super cute, and like little things like, I guess the one I immediately like remember was just whenever they're sleeping, and she stops him from waking up. But I felt like there was one like earlier whenever they were all eating, or something like that. Maybe I'm forgetting.
I don't recall. I
guess whenever the sun was setting and the lights were about to turn on, and she was like, hey, you're gonna want to see this. And
I don't see anything.
What are you talking about? I don't see anything. And then it happens, and she goes, isn't that spectacular? Isn't that a spectacle or something like that?
That is one way to quantify it.
Yeah, like he's kind of, I guess he's like, it's his way of seeing
beauty
and stuff for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I love that. Like, this is my favorite Star Wars relationship right now. As of right now, I want them to flourish, and I want them to just stay here, build their own little home, and somewhere high up, so it stays actually forever.
Right.
In its tech and Fee's little home.
A place they can return to when this is all over.
Yep. And I don't know. I need just them to be alive for a long time together here or somewhere, wherever together.
I do too. I need them to, like, I want this to be like Endgame. I hope we come back to Pabu. There's got to be a significance to the fact that they even name the episode Pabu. Right. Like it's
maybe there's like a wayfinder there.
Right.
She doesn't know, like, or something that's just super important that she has no idea exactly what it is, and then someone needs to go there for some reason. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something there from Grogu's culture, and that's how we learn that they're the fucking Jedi. And I don't know, who knows? Could be anything.
I have a small theory as to why they might be experiencing brutal tremors. And it's that since they are a small island with no resources for the Empire to gain, that doesn't mean the planet doesn't necessarily have resources that the Empire can gain. So I'd imagine that somewhere on the planet, Imperials are mining something beneath the ground and
I see
causing tremors.
That's much more likely. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I guess right after, they're going all over and they're just getting everything now.
Yeah, there's actually a planet in The Princess and the Scoundrel, a novel from last year where Leia and Han got married, where they go to a planet as a not a part of their honeymoon, but Leia is always on mission. She's got to do something to help people, recruit people to the Republic. So part of their stop on their honeymoon is going to this planet. It's still has Imperial forces that are remnants after the Empire has fallen. And they have like an underwater base that is mining the middle of the planet secretly. Nobody knows the Empire is there. So like that feels like intentionality here.
Wow. Did we get a mention of what the planet's name was? Because like this place is called Pabu, right? But do we know the planet name?
I just assumed the planet was called Pabu.
Maybe I'm wrong then. Is the planet's Pabu? Is there? Or I guess I don't know. I thought just that island was Pabu.
Yeah, maybe it's like New York, and it's Pabu.
Oh, okay, Pabu. They're on Pabu because like I guess
Pabu.
Because this is just an island in the middle of the ocean. Like, what if this is like, I don't know.
Right. No, I get you. Like a
Narkina.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're gonna go save fucking Kino Loy. Is that line? Does that time? No, that time. Wait, I don't.
Yeah,
the
island's called Pabu, but I don't think we know. Yeah, unnamed planet, the island of Pabu.
Yeah, Empire's there somewhere, and it's an ocean planet or a lot of ocean.
Could be in the Narkina system.
It's not Camino, obviously. No. They would know if they're going back to Camino. I don't know. Could be Narkina.
That would be kind of nuts if it was a moon of Narkina. Yeah.
What? No chance. It's the same planet as Luke's.
No, because that was in the unknown regions.
Yeah. Okay.
Fee wouldn't know how to just get to Octu.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is just another random planet, and that's whatever. But I don't know. It could be something there. Yeah, like I don't know, like them mining and that's what's causing it makes perfect sense. Like
yeah, and like they said it's been 30 years, but it's been 30 years since they had a sea slide. But Liana specifically states that tremors happen all the time.
Yeah, it's island. It's just island life.
Is
what they say. Like tremors, like, and I guess that makes sense. You're an island in the middle of the ocean, and I don't know if that's really real or not. And maybe they just think it's island life, but the Empire has always been there underwater, secretly mining sort of shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess that could make sense. But
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe next episode we get like a mention of like when did the tremors start, and if Shep is like they've been happening for as long as I can remember, then it's not the Empire. The Empire's existed for a year.
Yeah, they're gonna need to rebuild. They're gonna need to like, I guess, what do they build? They're gonna need to go get resources somewhere or something. I don't know. Maybe they like go look for something.
Yeah, what are the remaining episodes named? I know we got Plan 99 and
Tipping Point is next, and then the Summit and Plan 99. Tipping Point. That just feels like.
It feels like I don't want to watch next week. Feels like I want to just go ahead and end the show here.
Tipping Point. How's that not bad?
Yeah, you know? Yeah. Like how's that good in any way?
Not bad.
It could be a Crosshair reference. What if it's good in the fact that he's tipping away from the Empire? It's his tipping point. He's reached his tipping point.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any good ideas there. The Summit, while we've obviously been thinking Mount Tantus all season, could be the top of Pabu.
Ooh. Because Crosshair is about to be mega controlled, and
we think, yeah,
like he's gonna be sent to kill the Batch probably, and maybe the tipping point is them realizing Crosshair is
gone.
He's gone, and they have to put him down. Like they have.
What if the tipping point is Sid comes after them, and they have no choice but to kill her?
Kill Sid. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're right, they're not murderers. You know, they don't.
They're not just gonna be like, let's go assassinate Sid, so that we don't have anything to worry about.
I guess okay, I see. Maybe Sid's in with that. I don't know. Somehow she could be the link that tells where Omega is, but she threatens it. She doesn't do it yet, but she threatens it. She's like, "Oh, well, you know what? There's some very important people looking for you. I'll let them know. Be glad I haven't quite yet." And
there's some people on Mount Tantus who are really, really curious as to where you might be.
Yeah, she mentions like the Kaminoan prime minister's name, and then they're like, "Oh, never mind. You know what? We actually do have to kill you now." And who does it? If it comes to that, who does it? Fee?
Crosshair. No, I don't know. No,
it would be nice.
It would be nice. It would be really cool if somehow all this culminates at the same time, and Crosshair has to make a choice who he's going after. But I don't think that would be next episode. Maybe it would be though. Maybe it would be next episode, and then Plan 99 and the Summit is something else.
What's Plan 99, dude? Like what do you actually think it is? You know, it's not. Is it? Because it's like the reverse of 66, right? So like in my head, I'm like, oh, that's good. It's like it's the good version. It's the good side's counter to Order 66, right? Like that, you know. But also, it could just be like like there's an Order 44, Order 66, orders. Yeah. You know, like they just keep going.
It's Plan 99 though, not Order 99.
True, but I don't know. Maybe by that time, I guess it's not the Empire, or I guess it's after, or I don't know. Maybe they changed the name up.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Is it good or bad? In your, is it a good side plan?
In my head, Plan 99 is a plan to take out the Bad Batch. They're Clone Force 99. You know, like that's
okay.
It has to have something to do with them specifically.
It's them carrying. It could be them carrying out a
Plan 99. Yeah, that was my other option. Was, you know, they have all these plans where they're like, execute Plan 7, and they're like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So that's the other thing, is that Next week, Omega could be taken, and Plan 99 is their execution of a plan to break her out.
Okay. I like that. Okay. I don't know. I hope it's a good plan and not a plan to rid the rest of the clone troopers, and make them obsolete. And that's what I hope it's not.
Yeah, and there's still a very decent possibility that it is, which really sucks. Mostly because, and what would really motivate the Empire to execute something like Plan 99 is the guy who they have actually enhanced the inhibitor chip of rebelling and killing his superior officer, and then going, well, they clearly don't work the way we want them to work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't know. The Empire has some new way of controlling, that haven't seen, but it seems like some X-Men, like, dip on the back of the neck.
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
control. Like it feels like some sort of chemical thing that only
Experimental
lasts
shit.
every now. It only lasts for a while, but once it's in you, you are just susceptible to anything, sort of thing. And like, but like, does the Empire have anything like that? Like,
Not as far as we know.
like in the future, it doesn't seem like it.
You got, because we got 5 years before A New Hope with Andor.
Yeah, like,
And they only have a chemical that makes you experience fucking hell.
yeah,
Like, it's not.
It's just through experiencing the trauma of another culture.
Like, if it took them that long to develop a chemical that tortures people, they certainly don't have a chemical that controls people. You know what I'm saying?
Where did it go? Like, or wait, am I revert? No.
Yeah, the Bad Batch is before Andor by a lot.
Where did it go? Like, is it?
Where did what go?
Like, wait, I don't know. It's not they have this means of control now, and then it's not.
Right.
It's not present in the sequels or in Mando or in Boba. Like, they don't like the ISB. They don't have that.
Could it be they're simply going to install a different kind of inhibitor chip? I know it was organic.
Clone specific, It can, that would make the most sense, is if it's just clone specific.
I think it is. Like, I think it almost certainly is, because if they're about to do it to Crosshair, what they did to the other clone we saw in this show that was, like you put it, the gun with a serial number.
You're right. I keep thinking of Crosshair as not just a normal clone, because like he just looks so different, and like, but they're all just clones of Jango Fett, and it's hard not to see that as like, whenever they treat them as just separate characters, and they have just such
right.
But he is just, man, because I guess at the end of the day, like, I was thinking of like, man, the Empire has this means of control that we haven't seen before, that they can just do to anybody, sort of thing. But I guess it makes. Man, does that mean his chip is actually still in there and he's like just still lying about it?
Oh yeah.
Like his chip's in there for sure.
I'm fairly certain his chip is in there.
Because like, I think like last episode or two, like he outright says like, I removed that. Like,
yeah, but
he brings it up, but like, it would make, if it's in there. And it's, I guess
he's told by the Empire that they removed his chip.
Yeah, so it's in there.
It's an untrustworthy narrator. It's we never see the chip get removed. The scar on the side of its head looks like that radiation.
So
it doesn't look like
the chip. Then it's probably not some like chemical type thing. It's just like they're just wiring up
something to the chip.
Yeah, I'd say. Okay. I guess I didn't really, because I was still maybe believing that like he doesn't have his chip in anymore. Still holding on.
I think there's no way it's not still, like, it's got to be in there.
Maybe that's the tipping point. Showing him that his chip is still in there,
right?
And I don't know. Maybe he is redeemed somehow and he doesn't die. Like, I've kind of accepted that he's going to go. But
I don't want him to, man. He deserves to be able to live a life where he makes his choices, and I just don't think
Yeah,
he's been
they
living
all had
that.
their chip out, all of them but Crosshair, and like they're like they take his chip out and they're like, dude, like it wasn't you, that was the Empire. You were literally being used as a tool, by the Empire. That wasn't you. Come back. You have a home with us. You're still our family. We were born together. I don't know. I think it's very strong storytelling if he has a sacrifice play or something along those lines. But maybe that doesn't come until a couple next season.
Yeah, and it's almost a little played out at this point for the person who broke bad to only be able to redeem themselves via saving someone with their death. Ben Solo and Anakin Skywalker and and I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be like, man, this is bad and it's played out. It's just that like I could see them changing that story up and going with a new direction for this purpose, But regardless, I'm excited for the remainder of the season, man, because it's looking good. It's looking bright, yeah. And with only 2 weeks left and 3 episodes,
only 2 weeks, it's nuts.
I'm fucking ready. I'm hoping we get a nice little montage on Pabu next week, because there's no way we're on Pabu for like an entire episode. I think we get like a montage of them building and building and building. Like, we're not spending an extended period of time on Pabu. They might, but it'll be like a little time jump.
Tech does say it is going to take many cycles or many rotations to rebuild Pabu. What if they just like actually stay there and rebuild until completion, and then like it is a few cycles or?
No, yeah, like I fully anticipate that to happen. Like, I don't think they'll have a problem while they're rebuilding Pabu. I think that the problems, whatever problem might arise, will happen after they've rebuilt it.
I hope they get finished with rebuilding.
Yeah, I hope we get like a little bit of just peace for them for a while, and then it's even more heartbreaking when it gets taken away from them somehow.
No. I don't have to think about that yet. Right now I'm at Pabu. That's where my mind is. I'm there.
I'm mentally I'm in Pabu.
And that's where they all are. Omega. What's her new friend's name?
Liana.
Liana or Liana?
I think it's just Liana. Lyana.
Yeah, we got Omega, Liana, and Wrecker all taking a nice nap at the tree. We got Fee and Tech probably about to go off and get to know each other a little more. And Wrecker's going to probably just scout the land. Maybe talk with the mayor a little bit. Get some plans going. But man, I don't know. I was trying to think of the character for me is for sure Fee this episode, just for how, I guess, it's nice to know that I was like on the right track early on in the season, and it was just like what I wanted. I wanted her to become like a part of the group and be the treasure hunter person. And her character is just so much cooler, and she's actually a good person, and like she does it out of good reason. So she's like a super cool character just in all of Star Wars now, and I hope that she stays around for a long time. And I think I have to give her the performance as well, Wanda Sykes, for this episode. I don't know. She had a lot of lines this episode. She had a lot of speaking she had to do. And I don't know, from the very start, like the opening scene, her acting all confident, the whole time, not missing a beat, and then explaining what she actually does, and then like the scenes she has with Tech, and everything.
No, yeah, she did fantastic in this episode. She was so damn good, and character and performance. You're giving her the performance, right, as well as character.
Oh yeah.
Love that.
She's getting them both.
Love that. Yeah, I went with Michelle Ong as Omega once again. Because she's utterly fantastic every single week now. It's just like, dude, I love her voice of this character, and like that part where she's like, whenever Liana's like, it gets a little lonely, doesn't it? And she's like, oh, I've never really thought about it.
Yeah, man, that and also just whenever she's very happy and upbeat as a kid, like you have a
Yeah.
boat,
Yeah.
and then
the way they like run around chasing the Munoz and stuff, like
like that sounds like a good idea. And then Omega's like, "Can I go?" And she, like you like the look on her face, like, "Hunter, will you let me?" And then like he's like, "Have fun." It's like, oh, this episode's so fucking cute, dude. Like,
and it just immediately, like, this is what the Sanctuary in Mando season 1 episode 4 was for Din and Grogu, where they were like camped out for like a while. They helped the village. He almost fell in love with one of the villagers. Grogu was very happy there. Grogu's the Omara's daughter is like, "Can we go play? Can we go play?" And Omara looks at him and he's like, "Yeah, just be careful." It's the same thing, and I'll eat it up every single time. It's where I hope they end up. It just makes me very, very happy. And yeah, that's a good choice. Have we done line?
I had a few down. I said the one of Wrecker saying that he's never full and that he is full, and then Tech was like, I'll mark it down. The other option that I had was many of the items I recover are remnants of their cultures, and that's worth preserving. However, I am the liberator of ancient, and she gets cut off in the mayor. The liberator of ancient wonder.
Artifacts, yeah.
But like it was her explaining for the first time like what she does and why she does it. And I don't know, I thought it was really nice. So she's either getting a clean sweep, for me, but I think I like the Tech line more of Wrecker being full, and then him saying he'll mark the date down to commemorate the occasion. It was just I don't know. There's just so many cute moments, and I don't know, that scene was super cute as well. And it was before everything went crazy. So
I love it. It's a great choice. Mine also comes from before it got all crazy. It's after Sid's call to them being like, "Yo, be careful." And Fee's like, "Yo, I didn't know y'all stopped fucking with Sid. That's kind of crazy. You don't want to cross her. That's wild." And they're like, she's like, "Why'd you do that?" And then Hunter's line, "Mutually beneficial arrangement was not so beneficial mutually." I loved it.
About that line. Dang, that's a good one. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's they're done. Yeah, they're fed up with Sid. And it's, I don't know, very clear now. I love how I don't know, I'm really curious on like how she's going to come back and like what's going to be the dynamic there, how she's going to find. I don't know if it's he's the rat, whatever, but
I don't know, but I'm ready for it. I don't know what it is, but I'm in. The end of this season is going to be strong. And if they can stick the landing, this will top season 1 for me.
They've just been on fire the whole time.
The whole season.
I don't know. They found their style. It is visually stunning every time. There's like a different score every week.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. So no, they're killing it. They're killing it with the bat. Sadly, getting overshadowed by the Mandalorian now.
Yeah.
Not sadly. I guess a good
understandably
problem.
so.
A good problem. But I don't know. It's just a nice cherry on top every time, every week now that we have the Mandalorian. So
no, yeah, the Mandalorian has been strong in this episode. It continues its streak of being very, very good, very well done. This week was Chapter 19, The Convert, written by Noah Clore and Jon Favreau, directed by Lee Isaac Chung, who is actually previously an Academy Award nominee, both for Best Achievement in Directing with his 2020 film Minari, and Best Original Screenplay for his 2020 film Minari. That movie is very good.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, we got an Academy Award nominee here directing this one, and I think it showed. It was excruciatingly well done. It was such a good looking and well written episode. The story played out in a way that was seamless. It kind of just it went. And this isn't a criticism of it. It's just how I felt watching it. It went exactly how I thought it would go.
Yeah.
It just felt the natural course of things.
We can get it out of the way. It was boring. Like
a little bit
boring, a little slow. He probably could have sped, Dr. Pershing's story up a little bit. I've
come around a lot since my initial thoughts after this morning.
I think a lot of people are hung up that it's just Dr. Pershing. It's just like a character we haven't really seen a whole lot. It's, called the Mandalorian. People are having the same gripes they had with Book of Boba whenever Mando took over. But now it's a side character taking over the main show for a little bit. And they're like, oh my God, it's even worse. Like, holy shit, what's going on?
For me, it was just tempering expectations. I opened the episode this morning on Disney Plus. It said 58 minutes, which I'm pretty sure is the longest episode of this show ever. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, here we go. And you get the first 8 minutes, which are absolutely fucking peak. Just awesome Star Wars with Din and Bo going back and forth. Also kind of flirting, if I do say so myself.
Yeah,
that little shit where he like looked back at her and he's like, that's what happens when you steal a couple you steal a couple Star Destroyers from them. And she's like, you don't say. I thought that shit was cute as hell. Don't get me wrong, it didn't get weak. The episode was objectively good. It's just, it wasn't what I was expecting. And initially I was a little disappointed with that, but the more I've gotten to sit with it over the course of the day, the more and more I've reflected on it positively. And it's mostly because of the performances put on by the actors of Dr. Pershing and Elia Kane. Omid Abtahi playing Penn Pershing and Katie O'Brien playing Elia Kane.
Pershing's getting my character and performance for this
Ooh,
episode.
Okay, strong.
I don't know. I love the the Brainiac character, the scientist. So he's automatically, cooler. And seeing, someone who worked for the Empire who really wants to do good for, the Republic now. They're like, he actually wants to do good, and he's like, I was wrong. Thank you for giving me this choice. Thank you so much. I'm so honored, blah, blah, blah. And then you realize it's basically a sugar-coated ladder for people who were in the Empire to climb slowly, that starts very low, seemingly like prison, and then you get out into like this nice housing, and you can have a job.
The imagery they used was very specific. It starts in the place that fuck boy, bootlicker, bitch boy from Andor ends up whenever he's trying to work his way back up to the top after he gets relieved of his command. I can't remember his name right now. Like the little cubicle and the
little job, because they have the names of them, the tiers. Pershing is like, we can't do that. I might get sent back down to the Reintegration Institute. He was
Surreal.
at the
Surreal. Forgot about Karn.
That guy.
Yeah, fuck Surreal Karn.
The amnesty program is what Pershing just made it to. He just made it to the amnesty program, and that's how he lives in this housing and has a cubicle job, a job where he gets, and therapy every day that from a robot, dude. Like,
it's not the greatest. And they make good. Like, that's one of the things that I love about this episode is that it makes clear that the New Republic is trying. It's not even trying its best.
What do you do though? Yeah, it's like it's tough. Like
they're trying to just capture what once was something that did fail. And we've seen time and time and again that doesn't work. You can't repurpose something just because you can. You need to upend it. You need to change it from the bottom up. You can't just go, well, it would be way too hard to do that. This shit got taken over by the Empire. It got taken over by fascists. You can't just go, well, fuck it. Let's just do the same thing. Run it back. That was like, they are so fucking dumb at multiple points in the episode. And it's almost painful to watch.
Pershing gives that speech, and I guess cloning is very unethical, in course, a thing that I've never really thought about before in the Star Wars universe. But like the ethics of cloning, and he asked that droid if he could continue his own research on his own, shut him down immediately, saying like, no, the ethics of cloning say you can't even research that. Nope, sorry. Like it was immediate, like immediately shut down. So, cloning is just, I don't know. Even with that speech, like he was so ready, and he thought that he was about to inspire everyone and be like, yeah, I can save your loved ones by printing body parts and cloning body parts and all this stuff. But everyone's like, I'm glad that you're out, of the Empire, and you're doing good now.
It's so, also like, performative. I
met him outside. Yeah, outside there was just like, man,
he's a token. Like he's look what's possible in this through our reintegration program. Everyone come gawk and awe at him, but don't actually give him the means to do anything that is meaningful or would motivate him to want to participate in our new government. Just say he's doing a good job and hope he goes with that. Like,
that's tough. Yeah, I mean, it is tough. And that's the thing, is that he has a massive chunk of this episode. And I said, the thing I said immediately was that this is kind of like a Mando and Andor Oreo. And when I say Andor, hold your horses. I'm not trying to say that this episode is on the same caliber as Andor. Just the scope of the episode and like what it focused on. It was much more grand. We were on Coruscant. We were dealing with just, I guess, philosophies and just the government and how things are happening in the galaxy right now. Instead of just what's happening with the Mandalorians and what's happening with their civil war, what's happening with the different factions and stuff like that.
Right.
So Andor is obviously way better made, but it does have some similarities more with Andor than the Mandalorian, I think.
A typical episode of the Mandalorian. It's not quite this. What's interesting is that it establishes a grandiose narrative as far as what the New Republic is as a whole, but it's an extremely intimate story about Kane and Pershing, which is really, really compelling, and it is really, really well done. And I was immediately coming off this episode a little sore about it, but I think that over the course of the day, I've had time to think about it, reflect on it, and I've ended up really, really enjoying it, coming around on it hard. It is because, it's just coming into Mandalorian season 3, I wasn't expecting. I'm never expecting anything from Star Wars to be the caliber that Andor is ever again. And therein, I wasn't expecting it to ever attempt a story that was like that. So the thing that kind of like rubbed me the wrong way was that I thought it was going for something Andor-esque and wasn't as good as it. And therein, it was like, what do we? Why don't we just get back to the fun adventure shit of the week that we were doing before?
I see.
But the broad strokes of this episode, like you were talking about, the implications of it, what it means for the galaxy at large, that's what's the most interesting stuff about this episode. It's not necessarily the Pershing story in and of itself. I'll give all the credit to you in this for the point you made earlier about Kane and Pershing just being a mode of transportation for this story to get told. And it was damn good. It was damn good. Very, very well done.
Seemingly Pershing is probably like, what's his state now? Is he
mush brain?
Yeah, so I don't think he's pretty much gone. He's dead. Now I don't think he's going to be doing more research or more cloning research or anything of the sort. So I think, and you made the good point of, Pershing's probably not going to last much longer, and Kane, what's her first? is
Elia.
Elia. I don't. Yeah, you're right. She's probably not going to last much longer either. If she's not already in cahoots with Gideon, if Gideon isn't already out,
They make that pretty ambiguous in this one. They do.
Gideon's really the wild card here. It really depends on where he is right now. Because if she's already taking orders from Gideon, this makes no sense, really. Maybe, and it only makes sense if Gideon already has what he needs and he doesn't need Pershing anymore, and he can get rid of him. But Pershing says himself this episode, we were so close. We were almost there. We didn't get there though. If we had a little bit more time, maybe we could have. And you made the point that maybe this is something that she's doing on her own, and she's going to go to Gideon to be like, hey, look what I did. I got rid of him. He was going to give, all of this information to the New Republic and share all of our secrets. Look what I did. And then Gideon's going to be like, you idiot, pew, killer.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe they're both dead.
I have a few theories, and all of them, there's not a single theory of mine where Kane is answering to anybody. I think she's doing it all on her own.
Okay.
In the purpose of finding Gideon. She wants to find Gideon and free him. And option one is the one that you said, the one that I texted you earlier. The idea that she's fried his brain because she thought she was doing the right thing. She eventually finds Gideon. She's making her way up and up and up in the New Republic just so she has the means to find and free Gideon. That's all.
Okay. And I like it. The one detail that is holding me up, and it's stupid, it's these stupid yellow biscuits. She gets him the yellow biscuits so fast. And then later on in the episode, she's like, well, where do you think I got the yellow biscuits from? Like, yeah, this is where I came to come get them. But, like, it seemed like this was her first time, like, going through this shit. I don't know. I think that she might be in cahoots with someone in the Empire already. Like, she's already answering to someone. Because, like, it was fast that she was, like, getting things. And she was ready for Pershing right after that therapy session. She's already sitting right outside. Right after he's fed up. Like, she's sitting right there waiting for him. And right when he's fed up and he comes out and he's like, you know what? Actually, let's go. Let's do this.
Well, then that problem indicates that it wouldn't be someone it would be someone on Coruscant, which is an even bigger problem.
Oh.
It could be someone in the New Republic who is also an Imperial loyalist.
That.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. That's definitely possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100% possible. Oh, because I was thinking like Gideon. I'm like, man, it doesn't make sense if Gideon's out yet. Like, it really just doesn't make sense. Seems that he's either in prison or mind flared himself. But I don't.
That's where my other theory came in. A potential nice big old fucking twist that none of us would be expecting. That everyone would be like, how the fuck could you possibly do that to an actor like Giancarlo Esposito? Is that they spread these rumors about him having escaped, him having been mind flayed, when really they executed him. They just killed him. And that's not something the New Republic is supposed to do. They're the new breath of life in the galaxy. They're not supposed to just execute prisoners. They're supposed to give people a chance. They're supposed to help people get better and reevaluate their ways. And to seem like they're not hypocrites, they went ahead and spread all these rumors when in fact they went, this motherfucker's too dangerous. Let's murder him. That's why it's option 2. I don't believe that as hard as I believe he's locked in a cell somewhere.
Bo-Katan and her followers were right there, and Din were right there. They captured Gideon. They gave Gideon to the New Republic. Gideon is he the one that's responsible for the Night of 1,000 Tears, or like the bombing of Mandalore? Like he
was the ISB agent that looked over Mandalore at the time of it. Yeah.
So like if anyone kills and executes Gideon, I feel like it's them. And if they didn't, and they gave, they're like, hey, take him as a prisoner, giving him to the new. I don't see the New Republic like in a time of they think war is over, it's peacetime. Like, I don't see the New Republic going that far. Are they that lost? I don't know.
Well, no, that's my thing. Is that's what the twist would
That'd
be.
be
Is
nuts.
that like it's
That'd
like
be
oh
nuts.
y'all are doing that.
And to actually kill off that actor too, and to not bring him
and
back.
that's my thing. Is that like that's why it's a backup option. That's not my leading theory. I do think I think he's just sitting in a cell somewhere, because I think there's something to the idea of what this episode tells us about the New Republic is that they're complacent a little bit and just letting things run their course, which would indicate to us that Gideon would probably just be alive in a cell somewhere. They're not worried about him breaking out. They're not worried about anything happening like that ever again. But maybe a reason they're so complacent and naive is because they're killing off Imperial leadership.
Mm.
You know, like what if that's why they feel that they're safe, because they're going ahead and offing any Imperial higher ups that they find.
Damn. Oh man. That's
because we thought up until Andor,
where's
up
Gideon?
until Andor, we thought the rebellion, the good guys,
Right.
they don't do anything that's super fucked up, you know. And then Luthen's like, I sacrifice everything, you know, like
with Luthen now, we don't know
anything's possible, bro.
Yeah, we don't know what to think. Okay, I'm terrible with the timeline and everything. You're gonna have to do the math.
Gotcha.
If Thrawn, if she could possibly be in cahoots with Thrawn, what would Thrawn be doing around this time?
Thrawn is we do not know where Thrawn is. That's kind of a mystery at the moment.
Days, right? He's not to his peak yet.
He is past his peak.
He
was
the wrong way. Okay.
Yeah, he was a Grand Admiral in the Empire.
So
the Empire has
Ezra's
collapsed.
Oh.
Yes.
So he's just gone unknown. Ezra's taken him and hasn't been.
Yeah, the Purgils flew off with him and Ezra, and that's the last we saw of them.
He obviously has he's doing something, because Ahsoka's looking for him and he has some presence in the galaxy. So like,
there's also the fact that Ahsoka knows Ezra and Thrawn were together when they flew off together. And the easiest way to find Ezra is to find Imperials who would have followed Thrawn.
So I guess I've been watching like a few recap videos and stuff. In Rebels, like whenever Ezra did go, didn't they just go to the unknown regions or something like that?
Yeah,
like specifically. So they're just somewhere. They're not like.
Well, they don't even know where. The Purgils just fly.
Is it possible that they like traveled through time? Or is it only they're just somewhere else?
The only thing that we know about Purgils is that they are able to access hyperspace, not necessarily the space-time continuum. They can travel through space in hyperspace, but not necessarily time, as far as we know.
So the leading theory is they just popped out somewhere in the unknown regions.
Yeah.
So it's Ezra and fucking Thrawn and a bunch of Purgil somewhere in the unknown regions. Thrawn's home is in the unknown regions. Like, that's where he comes from, his species. And like, they're like the only ones to know like the unknown regions. So like, it is just really, I don't know. Like, that's the thing is, whenever Ezra took him there, it seems like a great like sacrifice, and like it was, you know, but like maybe it also gave him exactly what he wanted in time to plan. He's at his home world now.
No, yeah,
I'm
fairly certain that now he's built himself back up to a point where, like, because the Purgils jump into hyperspace before A New Hope. We are now post Return of the Jedi. It's been a long time.
Okay. So
yeah, we just have no idea what he's been up to. He
could be old. Like how? Yeah. Okay.
About 10 years older. Not super old. 10, 15 years older.
Wait a minute. Who plays the voice actor? The actor is like the Oh, dude.
Yeah, Lars Mikkelsen will definitely be playing Thrawn.
He is?
Oh, yeah.
Like, in live action?
Yeah. Pretty sure that's been confirmed.
That's already confirmed? Oh, dude. Because he's like the perfect age.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like right now.
He will certainly be playing Thrawn.
Oh, my God. Wow. Yeah, okay. I really hope he. I don't know. If he doesn't come up until Ahsoka, I don't know. Maybe I'm too early on the Thrawn game. But
no, I don't think you are. I think that's the secret.
The big
that Pedro Pascal's been like, the thing we've been we've kept you under wraps about every. I bet Thrawn is a big cameo at the end of the season, kind of teasing what's to come.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I need Thrawn in here. He's like, I don't know that much about him, but what I do know, just through the
ominous,
through the shows, like I need
freaky
more.
guy.
But I don't know. I guess, and that's the thing. That's the purpose of this episode. We're talking about Thrawn. We're talking about the Empire. We're talking about the New Republic. We're talking about all these things. We're not talking about Dr. Pershing. We're not.
Grand scope of things.
Kane.
Yeah.
And they did great. I think their stories are interesting. I just think that Dr. Pershing's story is pretty much over now. We've seen everything that he's done. He's mush, and then Kane is probably going to be killed by Gideon, or I don't know. She doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't necessarily seem that she's going to be a huge factor.
I loved her in this episode, though. My character is going to Pershing just because he showed a lot of dimension and a very clear want for wanting to get back to his passion and helping people with that passion, not just doing it because he's an evil mad scientist. No, he's never been an evil mad scientist. He was forced to work for the Empire, under threat of death. Now, you could argue that there's better people who would be like, well, I'll die then. But regardless, it's a scary thing to be faced with. My performance goes to Katie O'Brien for Elia Kane.
I'm glad they're both getting it.
Yeah, they were both fantastic. But Katie O'Brien, we actually just saw them at in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh my God, she was the leader in the quantum realm.
Yeah,
that's right.
The leader of the.
Also nuts that another one of the people who were sitting at the table in the amnesty program, whatever, that he joins him for a drink for the first time. I just watched Nope for the first time. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I don't even know. But the cowboy, the guy, the kid who's traumatized by the monkey and then leads the whole show, he's one of the dudes sitting at the table.
No, he's not. Stephen Yeun?
I swear to God, bro. Is it not him?
No.
Exactly.
I would have recognized Stephen Yeun immediately. There's no way.
Are you sure, Stephen Yeun?
I gotta be 1000%.
Okay. Now that I'm okay, dude, I don't know. It looked just like right when he popped on screen. I'm like, wait a minute, is that him? I guess because it was on.
Can you go to the freeze frame on your screen real quick?
Yeah, I need. Well, I'm not. I just looked him up on. I need to get there because I looked at him and I'm like, dude, no way. I just watched Nope. What is this? Okay, they're here.
Let's see. Yeah, they're also drinking that weird liquid.
Okay, no, just looks a little bit like him.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think it's actually him. Oh, and he's James Chen in IMDb.
James Chen.
He's actually
okay.
AMC Oscar G27. Dang it. Okay, man. Well, I guess it was
if Stephen Yeun ever joins Star Wars, it's going to be in a big fucking role. Okay. That guy's a good actor.
Because I saw it, and he's on there for just a couple seconds, and I'm like, wow, that's all that he's on there for. And then it was just out of my mind because it was only for a couple seconds or whatever.
Right.
But man,
no, that's funny. That's funny. No, but that was a couple. Those were a couple of my favorites, though. Katie O'Brien was fantastic in this episode. The kind of just they play it with such a, I don't know, stoic, regalness. She feels imperial. That's an imperial right there, and she does a really good job at convincing Pershing she's not, but she is. She just definitely is. And I never bought into her act.
No, I was suspicious of her from the jump. No. I'm like, and Pershing is too. I didn't expect to see anyone from Gideon's ship.
Yeah.
And man, okay, so what's she gonna do? What's going on here? What she's already a little fishy, and man,
well, there's this interesting thing about the Mandalorian, and something I hadn't considered is that, you know, we see the extremist version of Mandalorians, the Armorers cult, that whole faction. If there are still Imperials left, they are Imperial extremists, you know? Like, if you are willing to keep riding with it, you are that, like, you are the cult type version of the Empire. And if you still full-heartedly, you greet Moff Gideon with a smile, you're not changing. You know? Like, you get happy whenever you're like, we're gonna track them, we found them. You know, like, you're like, yeah. You're nuts. You're not changing. You are a New Republic officer. You know, you're not a New Republic officer. You are an Imperial comms officer.
Yeah. Man, Gideon's the wild card. Is he dead? Is he mind flared? Is he alive? Is he in prison? Is he out? Where is Gideon? You know?
I don't think there's any way he's dead. I think he's in prison. If he'd escaped, we would have seen it. That's why I think the idea that Katie O'Brien's character Kane is working her way up through the New Republic to find him, and then we will see him for the first time whenever she does.
She's in the amnesty program, or at least lives there, but the cops or whoever, they were like, she's like an officer or something.
Yeah, no, she's a double spy. She's a spy for the Empire on the New Republic, and she's a spy for the New Republic on the amnesty program to make sure the Imperial remnants aren't Imperial loyalists, which is ironic because she is.
This is how the New Republic kills instead of executing them, they just mind flare them.
Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't want to either. Like, Kane clearly was not supposed to do that.
True. But like, maybe it's just her. Oh man. Yeah. How is this working? Man, there's a lot of layers here. Of like the double cross and like another person in her position that isn't working for the Empire, that is just for the New Republic. That's us. They go into the amnesty program, act like, but no, what? She did come from, she is part of the amnesty program.
That's like, part of what, like, I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
I guess
that's what's kind of intriguing about it to me, is because Pershing and Kane had to have arrived roughly at the same time.
Yeah, but she climbed the rank. Maybe like he went to rehabilitation first because he was higher up. You know, he was
right.
He was higher.
She
up,
was a comms officer. They don't think they're going to have to.
So she went straight to the amnesty program, sort of thing.
I can see
maybe
that.
Maybe she's been there for longer, so she's climbed the ranks already.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, I guess that could make sense. Like, they need someone that they would trust in order to get them to do this, so that they can catch them in the act, catch them red-handed, and send them.
Well, what really, really blows is that, like, she manipulated the shit out of him into doing it. He didn't even want to. Like, he didn't want to go out.
Like, the performance of him on the table, realizing that it's a mind flare, and then him being like, you set me up. And he's like, why did you, like, you set me up. You know what you're doing. Like he just says it in plain English. And I'm like, oh, dude, no. And you're thinking that they're going to mind flare him right away. Like that, they're kind of setting it up to where, like, yeah, even these guys, like, I don't know, it's not going to be that peaceful, even though the doctor's saying, like, yeah, it's going to be really nice, and I enjoyed it myself. I still kind of thought, like, they were going to turn it up all the way right at the beginning. And then they're like, oh, it is actually peaceful. Well, it is actually a nice experience.
I'm curious what the ethics of this are. Like, if cloning is unethical, is, like, I know this is not painful, but is, like, the objective of this machine at its full capacity is to wipe someone's brain. The objective at this lower capacity is to eliminate traumatic. Yeah. And I guess therapeutically it could work, but for someone who, like, I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess, like, I'm coming from a point where I know this dude's not a fascist. They think he's a fascist. So, like, maybe the ethics become a little less.
Oh no, I think the doctors and everyone there, they knew it wasn't going to go above that low voltage They fully believed in that. Like they, like.
No, and I'm asking, what even is the ethics of that low voltage to like wipe someone's mind even on that low of a scale?
And I don't even think it's really wiping their mind at that low point. I think it was more of like, it was just that it would replace them with soothing, colorful, like it was just sort of like helping. It was like a speed up the process of therapy in a second instead of therapy over time. I guess like at the low, I don't know. I think like, because the doctor said he did it himself, at the low voltage. He's like, yeah, I actually did it myself. It was quite comfortable. So like the ethics, they do it themselves. So it's clearly they're fine with it. The doctor did it himself.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I don't have like, I'm sure it's not painful, and I'm sure it's not like it's not like they're eliminating memories, but they are brainwashing people regardless. Like there's a reason he thinks it's quite nice. It's because it's supposed to make you think it's quite nice.
Yeah. I mean, they also drink, like the drinks that they're drinking in the AMC program, they're all like white little canisters. And like, I really hope that that's not like controlling them even further. Like,
and I don't think,
like, I don't know how far they're going to go, like with the New Republic, and how far they're going to go with like the flaws that they're showing, in the early stages. But because like, that's the thing, is that this episode leads me to believe that Din's story becomes bigger. Like it involves this scope. It involves all of Star Wars, the Empire, the New Republic. It involves that big of a scope. And like, it wouldn't be in here if that's not where they're going. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of Din on screen, but man, we're going to get Din in way bigger situations from now. It's not going to just be little missions with Grogu anymore. It's going to be uniting peoples and fighting against the Empire and the Republic at the same time. Like,
I kind of perceived this episode, and it's a little bit muddled now that we don't know for sure what the state of the Rangers of the New Republic story is, if that's ever going to happen, or what the fuck that even is, or if they're going to repurpose it or retool it or anything. But the way season 2, chapter 5, or episode 5, chapter 13, The Jedi, was like a soft pilot for Ahsoka, I thought that this functioned as a good soft pilot for a show about the New Republic. So like, it doesn't necessarily have to be. I do expect Mando to go on adventures that will be galaxy implicating, and will affect the New Republic and will affect the remnants of the Empire and stuff. But I
confirmation on that show at all?
That show was apparently canned a while ago after Gina Carano got fired because she was going to be the main character.
This is back in November. Yeah, just there's so many headlines that say so many different things. Or like when I look up like what's happening to the show, the Rangers of the New Republic to be merged with the new season of The Mandalorian, which I guess kind of could make sense if they're scrapping it, but they're just like, well, let's take the good parts of it that we had and just kind of put it in Mando.
Okay, and that would.
Maybe this was an episode of Rangers of the New Republic, actually.
Right. Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking now. Like maybe that's why it doesn't feel like The Mandalorian, is because it was supposed to be like something of another show. And I think there's a little credence to that.
Wow. Yeah, that actually makes a little too much sense.
Yeah.
But I guess it's either it is a new show, but they're all woven together and they're all like interwoven. So like I guess the stories are still going to the same place altogether, regardless if they're in separate shows or not. It is just, I guess, a little weird whenever you go from the fun action adventure, Din and Bo in high speed, TIE interceptor fights, and they're killing them, and having a lot of fun with Grogu, and then you slow down and you have like a boring Imperial life with Dr. Pershing, and it's for the most of the episode, and then now we're back with these people. We're back with the Mandalorians and all these implications. It is just I don't know. I like each individual parts of the episode, but it is kind of weird putting them together. Like actually, it does kind of feel a little out of place.
Rolling. Let's do favorite scene next. I've got got a good one for me because the High Republic fan in me got a little tickled by something during this episode, which I was very, very happy with. Got a big old smile on my face. It was Kane and Pershing's night out. Whenever they're being homies, they're bonding.
Okay.
She hasn't revealed herself yet. They aren't sneaking out or anything. They're just vibing, and they are being friendly. They're discussing what happened and where they're going and their lives and what's next, et cetera, et cetera. And they arrive at Mount Umate, the highest peak of a mountain on Coruscant, the only place where you can actually see the land.
Okay. I forgot.
During the era of the High Republic, the Chancellor of the New Republic, Lena So, loved visiting the peak of Umate and and it was not just right above the surface on a fucking platform. It was not like you could just walk up to it and see it. It was a mountain. It was still a mountain at that point. It was one of the very few places that was still mountainous and like the planet. And so I was tickled by that. I loved it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, no fucking way.
I looked down into it a little bit. Like it kind of looked like it's still, I don't know. I don't know what was below it. I really wanted to know, like, if you could fall down into the mountain,
right.
What would you fall in? Like, what is that? Would you see, like, just more city?
Yeah, what would be above of you?
Like,
yeah,
I don't know. But man, no, I don't know. The little popsicles they had, the little glowing popsicles was super cool.
She's fucking with them, She's like, yeah, go ahead and touch it. This ain't the Empire,
Has it ever been expressly stated that Coruscant has 1 trillion people that live? Like she says that there's 1 trillion residents. Like, I don't know. I've never heard that before. I guess like
if it has, I would have to guess it was in like the Clone Wars. I can't imagine it was in anything.
Because like, I don't know. I heard that and I'm like, oh my God, like holy shit, like that is nuts. And I'm just seeing live action Coruscant was nuts. Like that's my favorite shot of the episode is whenever they're coming in and it's where Pershing's giving his speech and like the lights are just going crazy like in the sky. It's like, I think it's like kind of early on. I think like it's like right when they get to Coruscant. Yeah.
Well, I love this location they chose to start the episode because if I'm not mistaken, this is where the opera in Revenge of the Sith happens, where Chancellor goes, "Are you familiar with the tragedy of Darth Plagueis? It is not a story the Jedi would teach you."
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's that auditorium, like I'm pretty sure it's the same place.
Nice. Yeah, but the color is back in Coruscant. When we saw Coruscant and Andor, there were ISB, buildings everywhere. It was very gray, very, just dull, very dull. But now there's color everywhere. There's people on stilts. There's, people of different, I don't know, colors everywhere.
There's life in the planet.
So there are a lot of Coruscant shots that I was trying to go with, but I think the first one of like that auditorium with the lights going off is really nice. But also when he's looking out of the bus, at it, and then Kane is kind of looking at him, smiling. Like that's the thing is, man, I actually kind of thought that they were a cute couple, and I wanted them to last. And then it's like, well, you actually suck, and you manipulated him to get him killed, basically.
Yeah,
and it's like, man, you actually had a good thing going here. And he was like about to help the New Republic. I'm like, oh man, this scientist, like he's actually going to make, his origin story. Like, oh my God, his mother, passing away, like doing it. And from that day, I vowed to make, my life worth something. Or I don't know what he said, but like, I was like, oh my God, yes, Dr. Pershing, let's fucking go. I thought you were just some evil dude getting Grogu's DNA, but you were just forced to work for the Empire. Like, I'm fucking with him. And then, what happens at the end just kind of sucks.
Damn shame. The back half of this episode my favorite shot, is where the influence from the Blade Runner begins. Dr. Pershing's outfit is straight up Harrison Ford's from that movie.
Deckham's, that is Deckham's, like the collar up.
Yeah,
like,
no, but it's him. It's him looking in the mirror, and he's lit in a way where the top half of his face, like you can see his eyes and his mouth are cut off by shadow. And I'm just like, this was influenced by Blade Runner out the ass. Like,
my God, you are right. I didn't even. It's not just the outfit, that shot, like before he leaves, like looking in the mirror. Yeah,
that's the shot. Him looking in the mirror.
Oh my God, look at yes, that is so wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I loved it. And mostly because like while I don't love Blade Runner from a story perspective, but visually it's one of the best looking films ever. It's like that's what I loved about this episode, was that it was so like the New Republic aesthetic is almost straight up Blade Runner like that, and that's pretty fucking cool.
Man, yeah, that's it. Okay. That is your favorite shot?
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Man, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll have to go with the first Coruscant one though. That auditorium. But man, I don't know. I did forget about. I don't know. They did like the reason I say it's like Andor-esque is because like some shots were set up like very, very well. Like it wasn't
this was the most thoughtfully directed episode of the show so far. Lee Isaac Chung did a fantastic job with it.
Man, okay. I guess
of the season so far, not the show, the season.
I guess line's the only thing I haven't really got. But I have one in my mind. I just haven't really thought much of other lines that have been seen.
I really wish I would have taken it down. As I watched it, I thought I would get another chance to watch it, and I never did. So I didn't actually end up landing on a line.
And that's the thing, is that there wasn't really anything one thing that was said. But the one line that I have to go with, I went with a Grogu line last episode, and I asked if it was okay, because it was kind of a stretch of like of him saying, I got a bad feeling about this. This is without a doubt him trying to say this is the way. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Without a doubt him trying to say this is the way.
And then the way Din and Bo like look at each other.
Yeah. And like, oh my God, it was so cute. Like he tried to get it out. Like he had three ba 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 ba. Like he had a babble for every word. It was so cute. And I don't know. And it's mom and dad right there hearing his first
I love it.
Almost kind of. So like I don't know.
And that's something we haven't touched on at all. My line is probably going to be Bo-Katan. Have you removed? You also bathed in the waters of Mandalore. Have you removed your helmet since? Okay. Then by creed, you are welcome here. And da 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 da. Like I loved that scene.
I guess shall we close the Pershing and Kane storyline and go with like the good, like
go with God
prediction, because this is prediction out the ass of like what's going to happen next. Now is very.
I'm 150% certain Bo will convince Din to leave with her whenever she decides she's done.
Okay, because right now she is playing chess. She is playing everything to her advantage that she possibly can. She didn't tell Din,
Yeah, she did not tell Din about the mythosaur. Yeah.
Last week we were like, kind of like, okay, she's gonna tell him, and they're gonna be like, yeah, whoa, well, I just saw a fucking mythosaur down there. Holy shit, it's all real. But no, she kept it a secret, like immediately, and we thought that as a possibility, but it was kind of a back thought. We were kind of like really hoping that they were gonna tell each other. But no, she did keep it a complete secret. So she's taken everything she possibly can for her advantage, and the last shot of the episode, not a coincidence that it focuses back in on the mythosaur, and she has that for her advantage right now. She is also she's redeemed in their eyes. So like anything that she can manipulate these people now, I think. So like, I think before she convinces Din to leave, she tries to convince everyone else to like follow her. And not Din, because now that Din's redeemed and has the Darksaber, I think like once he starts wielding it and showing him and waving it around, like Bo-Katan literally says, then they'll start to follow him more, just innately, because he is redeemed and is like, well, you have the Darksaber too, and you went back to Mandalore, and you got some more living water. Like, damn, this dude's pretty badass. You have a full Beskar. Like, kid, you are badass. Yeah, you're a leader. But if Bo-Katan then comes out and she's like, I saw a mythosaur in the living waters. I tamed said, maybe she takes Grogu and she tries to get in with Din, and she fakes the relationship to take Grogu alone to the living waters so that she can then tame the Mythosaur with Grogu alone and Din not be there, you know.
Okay. I like this theory. This is the cuz I have one that's, I think there's a balance between the cynical sort of theory that you have and the positive theory that I have. Cuz my theory is she's keeping it to herself because it's almost an intimate moment where she can reevaluate her beliefs. All of a sudden, everything she thought once was has changed. She's welcomed back into the old ways of the Mandalore. Maybe she gives this life a shot for a second. She looks at the Mythosaur for a second.
Yeah, but go back to whenever she wasn't with the armor yet, and right then and there, did you see anything alive in there? She was hiding it from Din immediately. Like, immediately she was hiding it from him. You know, like, why hide it from Din? Why hide, you know, like, that's where I'm getting, like, she was immediately hiding it from Din off jump.
Oh, and it's because I don't think she has a plan for it yet. I think it's like she's just going to play the cards close to the chest until she decides what she wants to do about things. I don't think it's necessarily like immediately she was like, oh, I know what I'm going to do with this. I don't think it was like...
I guess, okay, yeah, no, I don't think she knows what she's going to do. I just think that anything that can be used for her advantage, she's going to keep secretive, right? Like, she's not going to trust anybody. She's working for herself. It's a free-for-all to her. Right now, there is no, you know, team for her. And in her eyes, you know, like, she sees Din as as competition, right now. And that, I feel like that's just why she's keeping it secret from Din. Like, because, I don't know, like, Din walks into the living waters speaking all this religious mumbo jumbo, and she's making fun of it the whole time, and she's like, yeah, it's all fake, it's all this stuff, it's all, you know, just talk. And then she sees the Mythosaur face to face, and, like, you don't just, like, want to talk that out with someone right away, you know, like, sort of thing. Like, that, I don't know, that is the way, I don't know, what Bo-Katan decides to do next. She has all the cards, like, really, like, right now. But, oh man, I guess earlier, I don't want to just focus on, like, the ending too much, because, like, the first, like, part of the episode is Bo and Din and Grogu, and we do get them, and they fight off some not TIE fighters anymore, TIE interceptors now, and they're, like, I guess, stronger in every way, can't just be taken out by normal blasters, it seems like, I don't know. They gotta be taken out by like, missiles, or proton, I don't know, whatever they call those. But that scene was fucking sick, whenever Din's like, yeah, you gotta give me to my N1, like, it's the only way, like, we gotta do something else, and then I'm like, how are they gonna do that? Like, is she gonna land and he's gonna run out to it? Oh, like, no, he actually just jumps out of the ship because he has a jetpack, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucking cool. He lands there, but then, oh, here's one coming in for him, and he jumps in his ship, but holy fuck, can that thing take off, like, so fast? Like, just knowing how hard it is to take off a plane, and how, like, it'd be so nice to have this technology, in the real world right now on Earth. But, like, he just goes straight up and then, like, falls straight back down to come, you know, like, play the game of chicken with the guy, kills him, and he's like, all right, yep, got my N1, I'm heading all the way. Yeah. And then you see, fucking Bo-Katan do, I mean, you know, we saw Tech do some little drift in the Bad Batch, but man, Bo-Katan whipped out, I think, a way cooler drift.
We've been talking about Techio drift. Let's talk about Bokio drift. You know what I'm saying?
Bokio drift went insane this week. She knows what she's doing with that ship. Because that I let out an audible, like, holy fuck, or something of the sort. I don't know what it was, but, like, I was having a blast during that scene.
She was dope.
And that's my favorite scene of the episode. If I have to pick one scene, I'm like, yeah, this is Star Wars. Like, this is Bo and Din together. You know, whether they're not in, you know, whether she's fully with them or not yet, I don't know. But they are fighting together right now because they have to. Sadly, she sees her castle get completely destroyed, though, afterwards, which really sucks. I don't know. I really thought that they were gonna have, like, an intimate moment there. Like, I don't know. I thought that, I don't know. Maybe I'm hoping for the relationship to start too early.
No, yeah, I think it's a ways down the line for anything to spark between them. I will say, Din is the first person to call her Bo since Satine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, she hasn't heard that in a while then.
Kind of in the way that Daenerys Targaryen wasn't called Dany since her brother called her Dany, and then Jon Snow started calling her Dany.
Okay. Yeah, I really hope they're going to be a thing.
I think it's a long term prediction. I don't think it might be by the end of the season, but I don't even think that's feasible.
You remember the imagery I focused on last episode with the headlights and how they were lined up and stuff?
I do recall.
They did it again this episode. With Pershing and Kane, whenever they're going through and they turn on their flashlights, they hold them at the same fucking level. I don't know if I'm it's just not I don't know. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or if it's just a coincidence. But
I think the way that I viewed it this time, because it did enter my mind because you mentioned it last week, is because it just makes the shot look symmetrical.
I know.
It looks a little better.
Nice. It is probably just more pleasing on the eye, and that's why it's happening. Not because they're on the same wavelength and, so they have to be on the same level, and the hierarchy of Din, Bo, and Grogu was, or whatever. I think it's just it looks nice, so let's do it that way, or whatever. So, but I don't know. It happened again. The light, it just was so specific that I'm like, wait a minute, man. I don't know. Do I have something going on here? Oh
yeah, I get you.
Rats, green glowing eyes. I didn't.
Who had some green glowing eyes?
The rats that were in the they're like the rodents. I don't know what they were, but they were in the ship that they got the lab equipment from. Whenever they were going through,
like the little Mandalorian creatures last week.
Yeah, they were rats, but they had green glowing. I wonder if this cruiser
might have been present on Mandalore. That'd be kind of interesting.
No way. This was Gideon's cruiser wasn't on Mandalore. It was just in space somewhere. Whenever they were there, right? Or what? Wait, no. Yeah, no. I don't know. That is interesting that we see green glowing eyes of creatures on Mandalorian, and then these rats have the same green glowing eyes.
Right. Yeah, that is curious.
I was just going back for the little flashlights, but
yeah.
And it's so sad that you just setting them up the whole time. Fuck, man. I really thought that they were so cute.
They were a good little friendship duo.
But I guess we said we were done with the Pershing and
yes. But I mean, regardless, I don't have a lot else to say about the episode in general. I don't really know what to expect going forward. I don't know. I'm curious how long Bo being a part of the coven lasts. I say coven like they're fucking witches, but you can
call it a cult.
Yeah, a cult. How long she sticks around. I'd be willing to bet she gives it a shot, not just as out of a way of being I'd like to get in touch with my roots again. No, I think she'd like to figure out a way to get to these people. Not just from because she's she said, she's done fighting. She doesn't want to do any more inner Mandalorian quarrel. That shit's dead, she's done with that shit. So I think she's going to try her best to find a way in with these people and figure out a way to convince them that maybe the old ways aren't 100% right. And I think one of the ways is she's going to talk to Din about what we talked about last week. Whenever I was like, does Din really want to see Grogu grow up with a fucking helmet on? I'd be willing to bet she poses that sort of question to him.
And that's the workaround that's sad, is that apparently if you're married, you can remove your helmet, and if you have a child, with that person, your family, you can remove your helmets and see. But
when was
Grogu, I don't know. I heard it's just been talked about everywhere. Like I've just been hearing it that like I don't know. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't true. But
Yeah,
like
no, I've never heard anything like that in reference to this cult specifically, but it would be interesting to see.
But like if like that's sad if that's the workaround and Bo-Katan adopts this way and they do stick with it and then but they get married and they can see each other only. I really hope they don't go down that route and that they are abandoning the way and that they or show Bo-Katan is like I think in my head I am thinking of Bo-Katan as too nefarious, too villain-esque, I guess. She's like I guess like I'm going in with the marketing a little too much, like it's Din versus Bo-Katan, but like I think it will be for a little bit, but then they both will realize like no, like stop, like this is
not the way.
Like yes, this like the way is actually we fight together.
Yeah.
Let's make our own way.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I'm ready for the rest of the season. What do you say we give this bad boy a rating?
Oh yeah, we need to do that. Yeah, this one's going to be interesting.
Yeah, enjoyment wise, I've come around on it quite a bit, but I still wouldn't say it's like one of my favorite episodes ever or anything.
It's the weakest of the season. I think I can say that with
enjoyment wise. Yeah, I would say it's probably the strongest critically. Maybe 2 gives it a run for its money. 2 is really, really good, but this was strong, very strong.
Like 7.5 or 8.
Yeah, I was thinking even splitting that difference, going 7.75. You know,
that's more of the range. It's not like it's still Star Wars. Like I'm still having a blast and I'm still escaping. I'm still
in
the Star Wars world. And it was nice to see Coruscant with colors, and all the life, that was in Coruscant. It was so nice. And then the scenes with Din and Bo, we didn't get a lot of them, but the scenes that we got with them in it were very awesome and very action packed or very important to the story. So whether, I guess if it was a little out of place and the tone was different, and it kind of really does seem like they took an episode of Rangers of the New Republic and just kind of inserted it here.
Not complaining, I'm not complaining.
It worked. I think it actually did. It did kind of work, and
I think it'll reflect well on the critical rating. But
yeah, but I think 7.75. I think that is fair. That's just it's a point below the episode 1, the opener of this season. And I think that's fair. Yeah, I think like it wasn't quite there. There were parts, even though I did like the Pershing and Kane story a lot, like there were parts that even I was like, oh, okay, like I know where this is going. Like let's get to it a little bit. So
genre wise though, I don't know how much better it could have done. Star Wars wise, we got some dogfights, action packed shit, some Mandalorian action, political intrigue, conspiracy to murder and shit. Like it's drama packed, it's action packed. It was a fun episode. It was a damn good episode of Star Wars. I think I might be willing to go 10 out of 10 there.
That's the thing. Is it ever are they ever going to?
You got to fuck up pretty bad to not be 10 out of 10 in Star Wars.
Yeah, like it's just like it's so easy. Like the fact that they're on Coruscant, we're seeing just so many walks of life in like random alien life. Like it's alone in like one shot. You're already like, well, all right, I've gotten all the fantasy fill I've needed for this week almost. And it's like, yeah, I don't think they're ever going to falter in the genre.
I don't think so either.
Ever.
I don't think so either.
But,
what did we give last week's critically?
We gave it last week a 8.25.
I would definitely be willing to elevate on that this week.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm definitely there too. If I was
minimum 8.5.
Yeah, if I was saying that it had a little bit of flavor of Andor in here, it's definitely better than what they were doing the last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks they were fun episodes and everything, but we were saying that they weren't like the best critically, made. We were used to Andor and like that critical masterpiece that was, but then it's just a different thing. It's not meant to be that critical masterpiece necessarily. It is fun.
Yeah, this one was much more thoughtfully directed. I thought the performances, we get an entire episode where, there's 45 minutes of people not wearing helmets.
That's true.
You get to see
humans.
people perform a little bit more than we have in the past.
Yeah.
And I really, really enjoyed that. It was really compelling. The score was pretty strong. It wasn't anything stand out, I don't think, but it was still good. I'm sitting at 8.5, 8.7, probably 8.5 because
just a little bump.
Just a little bump.
Is it just that much? Only a little bit better than last episode? Last episode, I guess it wasn't. Yeah, wasn't bad.
Nothing was wrong last week. The thing that it might be an 8.75 because I thought this one was. I think the key there is the thoughtfulness and the direction and cinematography. I just thought it was a little bit more purposeful. I thought there was I felt intention behind the choices they were making, and not to say that I didn't with episode 2. It's just that I felt it stronger in this one, and I think it was good. I think it was damn good.
Okay, well, if we do go 8.75. There, are we agreeing to go even a little bit up there? That extra
what
little
did we give any Andor episodes an 8.75 critically?
I gave episode 2 a 7 critically on Andor. The lowest after that would be an 8, and that's episode 1 and 4. Everything else is there's an 8.5. Episode 7 announcement.
Okay. Yeah, 8.5 or 8.75 sounds good then. I was like, as long as this isn't higher than any of the good episodes, episodes of Andor, I'm fine.
Okay. So, so this is better made than one episode of Andor, though?
Mm-hmm. I would say.
Like episode 2, I don't know, why did we give that a 7? That's low.
I think we were being overly critical because we wanted to approach it from an objective standpoint and not really, we didn't know what we were getting into yet. We didn't have the feel for the series yet. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 all released at the same time, and episode 2 did not stand on its own in the most incredible way.
That's true.
This episode stands on its own very, very strongly. This is a very good bottle episode.
I'm more comfortable now. Now after that, because I was like maybe 8.75 is a little high for this one, and because I'm in the mind, like I love this episode off first watch, and I'm like maybe I'm being too nice to it because I didn't really have any hate with it initially.
Episode 7 getting an 8.5. I don't know that I can tell you that this is better than that.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that maybe we just give it an 8.5 because I don't know if I can ever like. Maybe episode 2 we were just harsh there, and it does make sense that it doesn't stand on its own. But even episode 2 is probably critically better made than this one.
Yeah.
Still. And I'd say like 8.5 is the ceiling until we have that episode where we're like, okay, it did better than it could be on that Andor level, and we haven't gotten there yet. So I think 8.5 is actually more fair. Like I can't say it's on the level of Andor yet.
No, yeah, especially considering because you said episode 7 got an 8.5, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would say that the man.
What happened in episode 7?
Episode 7 is when he says goodbye to Marva. Yeah, like it's incredibly well acted. Like,
I mean, I guess in Andor, it was so good. Like, really, all of those episodes are like 9 floors. Like, I don't know. Like,
our coverage of Game of Thrones has actually enhanced our ability to objectively weigh how good things are critically. I think Andor, we were finding our footing. It was You know,
Yeah, we can't really trust those ratings too much.
House of the Dragon was even like House of the Dragons. The ratings there are even worse than the ratings in Andor. Like we've managed to find our way to be able to critically evaluate television in a better way over the course of time. Whereas, you know, coming off of the 52-year journey through film, we were being overly critical because we didn't want to be as nice as we were to films that probably didn't deserve it as much. So we were trying our best to be almost a little mean, but not mean because Seven is still good. It's not like our scale has evolved again. Our scale has already evolved again to the point where we don't think things are good unless they're an 8 or 9. And
now, I guess if we want to go off numbers that are more, you know, season 3 numbers of Game of Thrones, the 2 episodes that have gotten an 8.5 or there's 3 episodes that have gotten an 8, or an 8.5. Episode 2, The Night Lands, got an 8.5. Episode 5, The Ghost of Harrenhal, got an 8.5. And The Garden of Bones, episode 4, got an 8. So that's around the range. That makes me
feel a lot better about an 8.5. It makes me feel worse about Andor's ratings. Andor's ratings should be higher than they are.
We'll eventually get to an Andor rewatch. You know,
yes, we will one day.
Somewhere, and when we rewatch it, the rankings will be resolved.
Yes, they will.
Or maybe we'll just go back and do it retroactively because it need. I don't know.
They need to be revisited though.
They're sitting down there, but I think 8.5 like that. It's around the same there because every other episode. Man, I'm doing it again. I'm looking at the wrong column because I'm going from different sheet to different sheet. There's 8.25 The Night Lands actually critically, and then 8.5 for Ghost of Harrenhal still. So yeah, okay. I think
I'm still comfortable with an 8.5 here.
There, and that averages it all out to an 8.75 total for the episode, which puts it second actually overall. Episode 1 is an 8.58, so like barely above episode 1 actually.
Yeah, it was critically the best, but the least enjoyable so far. So it's like there's a balance there that ends up evening out a little bit.
Oh man, I don't know. We got 5 weeks left, and I don't know. It is a big chunk of time to not spend with Din and Bo, but I don't know. I think we still got a lot of progression with their story, anyways. Well, not really. They just went to the armor, and I don't know, not much actually happened. But I think that it's going to be all gas, no brakes from here on out on their story. I think that this is just a crucial Empire kind of thing they needed to throw in there to get Gideon back in here. Maybe that's just how they're introducing Gideon back in.
No, yeah, like that's where my money's at. The way that this storyline ends up tying back into the Mandalorian is that Cain is trying to find Gideon, and that's why they showed us this. Like, they are still Mandalorian characters. It's not like they're completely fucking random. They're just they're far from the main characters, and that's okay. Like I'm cool with a side adventure, a side story of the week, but it is a little harder to do that in an 8-episode season compared to a 16-episode season like the Bad Batch.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have trust. They know what they're doing. They know the whole scope of the show, before it's released. So I don't know. I'll trust them until it's over.
I do as well.
So, but yeah, I don't know. Overall, I think initially an episode you can gripe about it first, but go back and watch it and just think of Star Wars as a whole and think of the scope of Star Wars when you're watching it, and not just Dr. Pershing and Cain. Think of the larger implications, and the episode gets a lot better, in my opinion.
It does. It's a good episode. It's a damn good episode. But with that, I think we might just conclude this episode of the Penny Bloom podcast. If you would, head to patreon.com/pennybloom_pod, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, including earlier this week when I reviewed the new Star Wars book, Star Wars Jedi Battle Scars, the spin-off book that comes right between Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. It was very, very compelling, and I gave a nice little 20-minute review there. I'm going to have some comic book full lists up in the coming days, coming weeks. A couple more first viewing rankings. I've been watching a lot of movies, so there'll be more of that coming soon. I just did a Rocky ranking a couple weeks ago. It was very fun after I saw Creed 3. Tons of stuff over there. Patreon.com/PennyBloomPod for $3 a month. You can support this podcast financially, which is huge because it costs me money and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. If you would, head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, and follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. If you were fucking with me and Joe today, please leave a 5-star rate and review and return to download and listen to some more episodes. On Friday, we are continuing our comic book movie journey through film. And this week marks Batman Forever and the first appearance of a longtime best friend of mine, 15 years just about. Michael Muehlberger will be joining us to talk Batman Forever, Val Kilmer's Batman film. And it was such a good one. It was such a good discussion, and I can't wait for y'all to hear that. Like I said, I was Colton Robertson, and I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And I'll see you Monday for Winter is Blooming, our Game of Thrones rewatch podcast, where we will be starting season 3 next week. Ooh. So catch up and get with it.
Yeah.
Remember, peace, love, and bloom. And this is the way.